Alright, let's go. Fuck it. I'm starting. I'm sick of talking about Ocarina of Time. That game came out like 20 years ago, and you guys talking about.
What are you talking about? It came out like 2 years ago.
But we're reviewing video games.
Oh, we're popular now, are we? For reviewing video games?
No, we're not. What?
Now, shut up. Okay, welcome to another AdamantDitto end of the year podcast discussion thingy. Woo! Yay!
And this one's not in March.
Yay!
Yeah.
In fact, we're ahead of the game because another game might come out next week, and we'll have to record this all over again.
No. 2014 has come and gone, and it was an interesting one for everybody involved. A slow one for us at AdamantDitto, and
this year kind of sucked.
Yeah,
but not for video games so much.
Yeah,
that's mostly why we haven't been doing anything.
Yeah. And we're gonna talk about all the games that we played this year. It was not as many as last year or years prior, but I think it was still a very good year.
Like Pokemon Crystal.
Yeah, well, shut up.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm Matt. I got David here.
Hi, everybody.
And Ricky.
That's me. What's up?
And Jess.
Hi.
And Don.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, he just bought games. And Amanda.
Yeah, I know.
Don's gonna be adding them to the list as we go.
I need more games to talk about.
And of course, Josh.
2014.
Yeah.
I knew Josh was waiting to do that. From the minute you said 2014, I knew that was coming.
I always look forward to doing this podcast because we get to talk about games, so we don't talk about the rest of the year because we can't talk about everything. And,
let's talk about Smash Brothers. Where we're gonna fit all these other games? Come on.
Yeah, fuck that.
I agree with you. I do have a lot of fun doing these every year, so I'm glad that we're on the ball this year somewhat.
I just have a lot of fun with you guys. So.
Yeah. We like talking to each other. Even we like to hear the sound of our own voices. So.
Yeah, this isn't for you. This is for us.
Yeah. I just wanted to hang out with my friends.
We like to hear the sound of our own voices, so we figure you guys might too.
Yeah.
And if not, oh well.
So we're gonna do like we always do, or like we have been doing the last few years. We're just gonna start in a month, go down the list. We got a list here. It's relatively short compared to the last few years, as mentioned. And that started in February because fuck January.
None of us played anything that came out in January.
No,
January's terrible.
No, several of us were born in January.
Yeah. Nobody affiliated with January.
Game from January.
All right, play it and talk
what would you like
about
to say about
it
it?
The next 30 seconds.
Go.
Right. I just bought Nidhogg. It was on sale on Steam, and that's all I gotta say.
All right, cool.
How was the download? How was the download experience for you?
I haven't downloaded it yet.
How was the box art?
It doesn't have a box art. It's a download game.
Yeah, it's a download game.
How does it smell?
Can you smell a game? It smells like
Let's get Phil in here. Anyway,
February. Okay, the first game on the list is a controversial one. It's Bravely Default, which I did not play.
I played it,
but David and Josh did. So take it away, gentlemen.
David,
I thought that Bravely Default was like 70% of a really, really good game. Final Fantasy has been kind of shit in the last few years. Ever since FF10, it's kind of just nosedived. And Bravely Default captured a little bit of the classic Final Fantasy for me, and it made me like the JRPG genre a little bit. And then about 60-70% through the game, it just explodes and is garbage, and it's the worst thing that has ever happened. Josh?
It sucks. My experience is just different. I'm sure few people did this, but the game played itself through the whole game.
I mean,
for me, you could have said it to that. I'm like, yeah, like I bought this RPG depending on the story. The DVD, the demo sold me on it. And I was really disappointed with the story, and I hated it.
I think it's a really interesting story. I just think that if you're going to make spoilers, obviously spoilers, if you're going to make the player go through the same story like 8 times, it can't be it can't be the same story. It can't be the same thing. We don't learn anything new for the last 30% of the game. It's just a boss rush, and it's the same bosses over and over and over again. If you're going to go through the trouble of creating alternate universes for your characters to visit, you've got to do something new with those universes. You've got to cast these characters in different roles. You've got to make the villains the heroes, make the heroes the villains, see what this person would do if they went down a different path in their life and had to do something different. But it didn't do that. It cast the characters exactly the same way, and it was just, by the end of this game, I hated it. And I was just playing through to beat the game. And that is not how a game should be. A game
No,
should be
that's
fun.
not fun at all.
But
Yeah, like if you just want it to be over, that's not a good sign. Like,
No.
no, and that's
I wanted it
exactly
to
what
be-
happened.
I wanted it to be over before I even got to that point.
Really?
Like before I
That's-
even got to the like reset point. I was like, all right, I'll play this. I was more interested with the street pass part of the game. The like rebuilding the town. I
Yeah.
liked that a whole lot more, and I would want a game based around that.
you did mention that to me, Josh. That's
That's really funny.
the only thing that you liked about the game.
I don't know. There's a sequel that was announced, and really, when they tacked on the trailer for the second one, it seems like it's becoming a convoluted mess, like the Kingdom Hearts games. Shots fired. Shots fired. And
It is a
B,
convoluted mess.
They are.
Yeah.
Wrong.
I love that about them.
and B, it just looked like it's now a trailer for the second game. It's like, oh, you should buy another one. Like, no, let the game stand alone. I don't know. I got into it because I had the job system, which was in Final Fantasy V and was a lot of fun, and it still is. And like I said, the game delivered about 70% of that promise, and then I don't know.
They threw it all away.
Yeah.
I was level 99 before I even got to like reset point.
You may have been grinding a little much.
I mean, I did let the gameplay itself, had everyone brave 4 times and just fast forward, and then set it to like auto commands. So I'm like, that's an easy way to grind. That is a good way to grind. But then I was just so sick of the game that I had it fucking play itself, and you shouldn't want to do that.
Yeah,
in an RPG.
I don't know. I mean, any RPG that has like a shorthand way of finishing a battle, like Earthbound, where you can just run into the enemy and defeat it instantly.
Yeah,
The experience, it's awesome.
it
Because
is, but that's not quite the same thing.
Right,
No.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like physically changing the mechanics so you could make it play itself. Like Earthbound is kind of built around that, I guess, in a way.
I don't understand what you mean, but okay.
Like he's
So, like it's implemented as a feature rather than I guess it is implemented as a feature.
no, he's saying like in Earthbound, like if you're just gonna beast these monsters because you're super high level, they just die instantly. You don't even go to the fight scene.
Mhm.
Josh is
Yeah.
talking about in Bravely Default, like you can just carry out the battles on autopilot.
True. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You could even do it on the boss battles, and that seems... I mean, alright, to the boss battles credits, as soon as you get in it, they turn off the auto feature right
Yeah.
away, so you don't accidentally start the battle, braving 4
Right.
times.
Yeah.
So that part was good. Like,
I
I
don't-
enjoyed the job systems. It's just, at a point in the game, I was just like, have everyone attack 4 times, and it killed everything. So what the hell's the
Yeah.
point of even
I think
having the jobs?
auto is not the worst thing of all time. I kind of like it as an option, but I don't think it should become a crutch. And later on, to the game's credit, some of those bosses you can't just set it to auto and watch it fight itself because
Mhm.
the combinations of bosses make it really, really difficult, and you will get wrecked if you try to do that.
Right, like
But,
the bosses are the most memorable part of the game for me.
That's because they were 80% of the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even talking about those 4 bosses. I beat the game, but I gave up on doing the time cycle thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but you just fight those
fucking
same 4 crystal
the boss.
bosses
Yeah.
and all
I-
of the
I did that 3 times, I think, and I'm like, all right, this is fucking ridiculous. I know what they're telling me to do. I know who the bad guy is. I'm just gonna do it.
No, I'm with you. And by that time, I'd figured it out too, and I just had to end it at that point. Like I just had to beat it, which I did. And I mean, to this day, it's still the 3DS game that I put the most time into, but it doesn't mean I had the best time with it.
Hmm.
So that's Bravely Default for me.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting that you guys dislike Bravely Default because so many other people like just praise that game.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
but I've heard a lot of people who really liked it. I've heard a lot of them say something to the effect of, "Yeah, but having to do the same stuff over and over again is bullshit." Like
It is.
I've heard even fans admit like that's not the best design. So
no, like I said, it's 70% of a fantastic game.
Okay.
Like
that'll be my little blurb on the back of the box.
They wouldn't put that on the back of the game.
for as much as they would put game,
dot fantastic game.
70% of the time.
70% of the time. It battles by itself. Yeah. That's all I can say about that.
When I was actually playing the game, like the mechanics and shit, I liked it. I just hated the story. I had it play itself after I got bored with it, and that kind of killed it for me because I'm like, well, what the hell's the point? I might as well just finish this. I think it took me 39 hours and 58 minutes.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. Like that's.
I logged over 100 hours in it.
Clock said.
What does the clock
You didn't get
say?
the secret ending though, Josh.
No, I didn't. I don't really care.
I got the secret ending.
You fool.
And it was a lot of grinding. TLDR is if you like the job system, just play Final Fantasy V again because that is a fantastic game.
I haven't checked out 5, but I probably should.
You really should.
All right.
Okay, so
next game.
Thanks, guys.
Next game on the list is Steel Diver Sub Wars. Oh boy, I didn't play that either. Go ahead, Don.
I'm the only guy that played it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I played it.
Go ahead.
Oh, you played it too? Oh man, it's pretty cool.
I own this game.
Honestly.
You don't own this one.
No, that's the original one.
Oh, never mind.
That's the free-to-play one. God damn.
We just went over this.
I don't remember.
This was just like Nintendo's attempt at like a free-to-play game for the 3DS, and it was surprisingly pretty fun. Like, at first, I thought it was like gonna be, like a sequel to Steel Diver on the 3DS, but it's just like pretty much entirely different. It's sort of like a first-person shooter underwater and incredibly slow. But it's
sounds like the worst thing ever.
I know it sounds
so Steel Diver.
No.
Sorry,
but it's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun. Like
is the Gelnica in it?
No. But like you'll shoot like a little torpedo and it'll travel really slow, right? But like since everyone else moves really slow, they'll get hit by it. If you're good at aiming, though, because it's still kind of like really hard to aim. Because
this is Mario Kart battle mode, but like slowed down to 25.
No. I don't know. It just feels like an interesting Nintendo spin on first-person shooters, and I had fun with it. Like playing online multiplayer was pretty fun when it first came out, and then they released a patch and it was like, hey, you gotta give up your play coins now, buddy. Can't play it for free. You gotta play it for free for coins.
You have to walk to get to play.
Don, the days before Smash Brothers on 3DS were dark times.
Okay. It's still dark times after Smash.
Well, that was great.
No, it was like legitimately Steel Diver Sub Wars is actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
you just gotta play it.
The one time I played it, it was fun.
They've added
Don's blurb on the back of that is actually pretty fun.
Yeah. They've patched it since it came out so that now you can actually play with your friends. Because when it first came out, you just played online with random people. You couldn't play with your friends.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That seems like an oversight.
It's really dumb.
But then they realized, well, that was dumb, and they made it so that you could play with your friends.
But who do you fight for?
You fight against your
for glory.
Yeah, for glory. For subs.
For subs.
Oh,
$5 foot long.
Something interesting about Steel Diver Sub Wars is you have to like type in Morse code, like
that's cool.
A button and then like you hold it down, just like Morse code.
That's pretty neat.
And so you would like type to people like eat shit in Morse code.
Of course you would.
When Don says you, he means he.
Yeah.
Get good. GUD.
Classic deflection.
But also, there was like a whole separate mode for like practicing Morse code, and you would just like chat with random people. I think they like since removed it and later updates.
Because everybody was telling everyone to eat shit.
No, that's just done.
Yeah, it was just me.
Just done.
Don, you ruined that game.
Well, there was only like 5 people playing it, so.
Yeah. They're like 20% of our audience are telling everyone to eat shit.
Oh god.
No way, man. Obviously, they removed that feature so people wouldn't cyber with Morse code.
Gross.
Let me see your submarine.
Oh no.
I think that people in real life, like before there was phones and it was just Morse code, that they actually used it for that.
I
Oh,
bet you're
God.
just full of semen.
Ah!
No, nobody, nothing. Fuck you guys.
Like the Dreamcast game?
When a joke is too bad to acknowledge.
That was brilliant.
Oh man, are we done with Steel Diver?
Oh my god.
We're done.
All
I
right,
hate you guys.
Jesus.
Whew. Let's
Looks
move
like
on
pretty good
to I think the first like really good game of the year and one of the best games of the year. I think Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This game fucking kicks ass.
I love it.
It's great.
I really the first Donkey Kong Country Returns was great. Retro handled it pretty damn well, except for those controls. The waggle controls were
Fuck that.
were really shitty, and the 3DS version is actually much better, I think, because it gets rid of that. But Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the Donkey Kong Country 2 of the Returns games because everything about it is way better.
It's
fact,
also the second.
yes, it's also the second.
And it also does have seafaring villains.
Yeah, Vikings this time.
And Dixie Kong.
And
Yeah.
Dixie Kong. And Cranky.
Yeah.
Remember when that was a big reveal at the Video Game Awards? That was weird.
That was funny.
Alright.
But yeah, just it's so like well designed. Every stage in that game is just from top to bottom just it's beautiful to look at, it's great to play. It's frustratingly difficult, but it's hard in a good way. It's hard in a I want to keep playing way.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think the thing that it does like much better than the first one, which like you I liked a lot already, but really every single individual stage in Tropical Freeze is like its own. They all feel alive and they all feel different from all the other stages in the game. Like even when they reuse the same themes, you know, like the savannah or you know the fruit factory, there's some kind of twist on it. That makes it unique to that specific level, and it's just I loved that about it.
Yeah.
A lot of the levels really were very memorable to me because of that.
Yeah, this game has a lot of great levels. I remember after I finished playing it, I wanted to do a list of like the 10 best stages in the game because it was that good, and like I just wanted to show people like this is what you're missing out by not owning a Wii U, you shitheads. And like
I really want to play it. Donkey Kong Country 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I haven't beaten the first Donkey Kong Country Returns, but I'm pretty close, and I'm enjoying it a lot. But you know, the second one, you know, with Cranky and Dixie, it just seems like a lot of fun, and I really want to play it, and I can't wait to.
It's really, really great.
I think it's better in every way.
Yeah. Something that kind of tying into my last point, like for example in like Donkey Kong Country 2, which is amazing, one of the best platformers ever, but it does have you kind of, unless you're like super have every level memorized like the back of your hand, you do kind of like when you're playing the mine levels, like I don't remember where this puzzle is. They kind of bleed together. You know, you're not sure.
I just want to say that Donkey Kong Country 2 doesn't have any mine levels.
Yeah, it does.
When?
Squawks' shaft.
It's not. You're in a mine cart, though.
You're in a mine. I didn't say mine cart.
All right, I'm thinking mine cart.
I mean, anyway. You know, the levels kind of they can bleed together sometimes, where you forget, like, you know, is this that rigging level or this rigging level? You know, that never happened to me in Tropical Freeze. Like every single level.
That's
like,
awesome.
I remember them really vividly, even though, you know, I only played each level so many times.
the only complaints I can make about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a complaint that I can also make about the first Donkey Kong Country Returns, and that's that the bonus barrels are all kind of exactly the same. They kind of, I think they ruin the pace of
they disrupt
stages.
the flow, like,
and they all look the same, and they all play the same.
There's something about in Donkey Kong Country 2, there's something magical about the rapturous sort of fanfare. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. And like there were lots of different kinds of challenges, kill all the enemies, get all the stars, just find the coin because it's a maze,
Yep.
And every single bonus room in both Donkey Kong Country, both Returns and the Tropical Freeze, they're all get all the bananas. And like
a lot of the times they reuse the same like room over and over and over again, and that's just boring. Like they don't even like try to like change the way it looks. It all looks the same. It's just like a wooden little area with like maybe some fauna here and there, but it's like it doesn't fit into the theme of the level, and I think it just breaks up the flow. But you want to go into those rooms because you want to get the puzzle pieces. So like I don't know, that's my biggest complaint. And it's a small complaint because it's still fun. It's just I feel like the stages would actually be better without those if I didn't have to stop and do that.
The levels themselves are beautifully, intricately designed. They're incredible, but they're broken up by these bland bonus rooms, Boris rooms.
Boris. Hello, we would like to make bonus stage for you. He's Boris. He's Boris room.
What are you, Spider-Man's landlord?
That's pretty much
sort of.
He was Boris from Rugrats.
Sure.
That's pretty much my only complaint with the game too. I think in the first game the bosses were a little. They were fine, but one of them was like reused. They were just a little.
Yeah.
Not as memorable as like the Super Nintendo bosses.
Look at Donkey Kong Country 1. All the bosses were reused as well.
Yeah, and that's not bad, but the second game does a better job of like having some really cool bosses in it, I think.
True.
I mean that's true of Tropical Freeze as well, is what I'm saying. And it just this isn't a complaint, but I did feel that sometimes the puzzle pieces, not the ones that weren't in bonus rooms, the ones that were just in the stage, some of them were so cool and satisfying to find. And some of them were hidden a little too well, where I was like, "That's some walkthrough shit,"
Gotta get squawks, man.
Yeah, I know you do. You pretty much. You're right that there is like a tool in the game to help you with that. But yeah, I was a little late playing it. Like Matt and everybody else had already beaten it by the time I picked it up. But I'm really glad I did because it's fantastic.
I think it's one of the best platformers, like side-scrolling platformers ever made.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know that I could say it's better than Donkey Kong Country 2, but I think it's really close between the two. I think they're the best Donkey Kong Country games.
I think that if the bonus levels weren't so mediocre, I would be more confident in saying that it is better. But as they are, I don't think it's better. Also, I don't think that the puzzle pieces are bad. I don't think it's inherently worse, but just me and my sort of preferences, I prefer the DK coins as like there's one in every stage and it's giant and glittering and it's just about finding it, That to me is really, really rewarding. The puzzle pieces where there can sometimes be 9 of them and it's like, well, this one's in a bonus room and this one you have to stand in this particular part of the trees to make a star shape. Like, it's just not as rewarding to me. I don't think it's bad design at all, but it's not to my preferences, and that's why I think I still prefer DKC2. But it's still an amazing, incredible game.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Aside from the level design, there's some blemishes I feel like it has. Like the load times are kind of eh.
Oh yeah.
The gamepad just displays a black screen unless you switch to it. And the co-op is tacked on.
It is. There's no reason that it like. Why is it not 4-player? It really, could have been if they.
Yeah.
Like Rayman Legends did 4-player multiplayer really, really well, and it's a similar engine. Like the swimming in those two games is almost exactly the same. So they could have easily done 4 players if they wanted to, but
with
they.
Kiddy Kong?
No, with
Cranky Kong.
There's four players.
Diddy Kong. Y'all forgot about Diddy Kong. I was trying to say something. Everyone was like, Dixie Cranky, Dixie Cranky.
Well,
and I
Diddy
was
Kong
like,
was in the
"What's
first
Diddy
game.
Kong?"
Yeah, they should totally cut Diddy and just put Kitty in.
No, they should never cut Diddy from anything. No. No.
You know, I'm kind of surprised they didn't expand upon or like bring back some of the
Expand
animal
dong?
Spandong.
yes,
I was thinking it too, Don. I was thinking.
You fuck.
but I mean, like, especially with like they added underwater in this game. I'm kind of surprised they didn't have On Guard back.
Yeah, that was kind of upsetting to me. Like in the first returns, it was like, well, there's no swimming and it's just Ramby, and I was like, well, okay. And like in this game, it's like they're swimming, but it's still just Ramby. Like that was
Yeah, like, why is it just Ramby? What happened to Squitters and?
Because you have 4 fucking playable characters, all right?
Well, you know what? Whatever. Because Donkey Kong Country had 2 playable characters, and it had like 5 animals you could play as, and they're goddamn cool, and people like them. And where the hell are they?
They're dead. They're
Because-
trophies in Smash Brothers.
You're the saddest person of all time. They're dead.
They're
Come on, you don't want to play as fucking Winky and Rattly.
No,
and
I would love to see Squitter and Rattly and all them back. I would love it, but I don't
Ellie.
think that's an inherently like bad thing about
yeah.
the game.
The
No,
levels are designed like
Right.
they're super fun without animals. They don't need
Oh,
animals.
Yeah, I understand that.
Like it would be cool to see, but it's not. It doesn't. It's not. I can't count that as a mark against the game that they're not there.
Yeah, but there are games in the Super Nintendo ones that are designed with certain animals in mind. So I mean, they can
Yeah.
do it.
They totally could, and I would love it if they did, but they didn't. So
I just want to say that I love that this game made Cranky Kong a viable, like, active character.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun to
So
play
much
as.
that I kind of thought that he might be a contender for Smash Brothers, but clearly he's not.
Yes.
So
Nobody likes Donkey Kong.
I was on Cranky's boat.
how was that?
It was cool.
It's very old.
Was it a banana boat?
Oh yeah.
Why did you laugh at that? Why did you laugh at that?
Just the way he said it.
But I think I've said enough about Tropical. I think it's a beautiful game. The soundtrack
Yeah.
is great. David Wise is back doing soundtrack.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh, I forgot about that. It makes me so happy.
I think the first game had a great soundtrack too, but the problem was it was mostly. In fact, it was entirely remixes of Donkey Kong Country music. This game has a lot of remixes as well that are great, but there's a lot of new music in it that's great. The soundtrack in Tropical Freeze is fantastic.
Yeah,
so.
man. I'm telling you, Grassland Groove, the first stage of the Savannah, one of the best stages in video game history. Just the way the music and the stage like interacts with the music. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you're in the savannah, and like all the animals are like dancing to the music, and you have to jump on them as they're dancing and swaying, and like it's. I agree with Matt that it's probably one of the coolest stages in the game in video games.
It's my favorite stage in that game. So like if I ever
Yeah.
did that list, that would be number 1. But I think it's one of my favorite stages. Just
Spoilers.
in
Nobody
gaming.
watch that part because you're gonna ruin Matt's list for yourself.
But yeah, Tropical
But
Freeze is great. It's one of the best
There
games
are-
of the year.
There are a lot of really memorable stages like that. Like I said, like the minecart stage in the sawmill is the fucking best minecart stage in any Donkey Kong Country game. Like
Oh.
it is so cool. You're in a sawmill, and like the saw is like destroying the stage and the rails as you're riding on it. So you have to constantly you're like shifting, like you're on falling platforms, and there's a part where you go in the water, and like you're on like a log flume, and like it's the best minecart stage ever. It's so much fun.
That stage is great too. And
I love the stage with the hot air balloons. That stage is amazing.
yeah, and I think all of the like final stages where they're like it's Donkey Kong
Oh, yeah.
Island where it's like remakes of the stage. Well, I guess they're not exactly the same, but they're like they take each of the themes from the first game, like all the different worlds or whatever you want to call them, and they cover them in ice basically. Like it's tropical freeze. Like Donkey Kong Island has frozen over. So
Wait, which games did they do that to?
The first returns. That's it.
Oh, okay. I see.
yeah,
That's
so
pretty
it's
cool.
so it's like there's the level on the cliffs and the level in the factory, and the
The
level
tar pits.
Yeah. So, but they're
I like-
but they're like frozen over, and all of them are so much fun.
They are amazing. Yeah.
I like how in the first level, in the background, you can see like the first level from Returns.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
It's a great game. It's I think one of the best games of the year, and that's
It definitely, if you own a Wii U and you haven't played Tropical Freeze, you need to get on that because it's not
it's
to
a
be missed.
must-have for the Wii U. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy.
All right, I think I'm the only one that played it. So I will tell you
Be
about
quick.
it. I'll try. I think it's really, really good. As I'm a huge fan of the Layton games, I've played them all, and this might be. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think it's like the best one. Like, if you're gonna try a Layton game and you've never played one before, I would kind of recommend this one. And the reason for that is, the Layton games are all they all do this very well, where they take you to this kind of exotic, mysterious town where things are sort of off, and you have to unravel the mysteries of this town throughout the game. And they're all so great at that. And Azran Legacy does that with like 7 towns. Like it's a globe-trotting game. It's the first Layton game that like your adventure spans all these different locations all over the world, and all of them are really cool. Like they all have their own sort of culture and like art design to them. And they just really felt alive, like I was saying about Tropical Freeze. Like each of these locations felt like a place where people live, you know.
And you Carmen San Diego.
You have to interact with these people, and like, I had so much fun with it. And what my favorite thing about it, which is really stupid, but I wanted so badly going into this game because okay, there were 3 Layton games on the DS. That was like the original trilogy. And then there was 1 more on the DS and 2 more on the 3DS. That was like a prequel trilogy, basically. Like there were 3 games in order that took place before the first Layton game. You get to see like how Layton meets Luke and all this stuff. And I wanted so badly going in for Azran Legacy to end with the opening scene of the first game, because that's chronologically what happens after Azran Legacy. And it did!
Oh, nice.
And it made me so happy. The last scene in the game is Layton and Luke in the Layton mobile, and Layton says, you know, Luke says, why are we going to solve an inheritance dispute? And I was like, yes! So, it's stupid and petty, but that was my favorite thing about the whole game.
That's pretty cool.
But I thought it was really, really good. It was the closest to becoming my new favorite since the second one, which had been my favorite for all this time. But yeah, I love the globetrotting aspect of it. Just all these different locales that you visit are so cool and memorable. So definitely check that one out if you like puzzle games.
Cool. Sounds
That's about
fun. I haven't played any of the Layton games.
Neither have I.
Waiting for a compilation.
I like the character.
I played the first 3. Unfortunately, I haven't like cracked the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So.
The thing about that series is like, I think a series like Ace Attorney, for example, anybody with an open mind could enjoy that series. Like, there's something in it, you know. If you keep an open mind, there's something in it for everybody. Layton, I don't think that's so true of, because at the core of it is these puzzles, and if you don't like brain teasers and puzzles like that, you're not gonna like the games, you know.
Yeah.
But if you do like brain teasers and that sort of thing, I think you can't do any better than Layton. You know, the art style and the characters and the world that these games take place in is just so endearing.
Yeah, Layton's a boss.
Yeah, Layton is an awesome character. And we actually get a lot of his backstory in Azran Legacy, so if that floats your boat, definitely check that out.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, let's move on to March. Wow, we're just getting out of February.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have a lot to say in March. The first game on our list in March is actually a game I don't have a lot to say, and that's Yoshi's New Island, which you probably forgot came out this year because what a boring
it looks
game.
And sounds like butt.
I played and beat Yoshi's New Island, and I don't remember.
Did you hate yourself?
I don't remember anything about it. It's not even necessarily that it's bad. It's just that it's so forgettable. Like it's platforming 101. Like
yeah,
it's a by the numbers video game, platforming Nintendo game, and it's like it says Yoshi's New Island. There's nothing new in that game at all.
Right.
It's got the graphics suck.
What about the egg dozers?
No, that's not even the giant eggs are underutilized and boring. Like it's just such a boring, average game. Like, it's not bad, it's not good, it's just boring. And
Let me ask you this. If Yoshi's New Island came out as like a Yoshi's Island expansion pack, would you have liked it more?
probably because that's all it is. They reuse
more or
like
less.
enemies and themes from the first like Yoshi's Island game, and it's just I don't know. It's just there's nothing about it that's like
So
great.
it's not a bad game. It's just a game that does nothing new.
Exactly, but it's got new in the title.
Okay. All right.
And
That's all I need to know.
I wouldn't recommend spending your money on it. And the music is one of the worst things in the history of mankind, I think.
What do you mean? Maybe we should play an example of it.
No, no, I'm not gonna subject anybody to that.
But I think you should a little bit.
No, I shouldn't. Those damn kazoos. I think
Why do we need to play it when we could just have David perform it?
I don't know the music. I was just making random
that's one
notes.
for the soundtrack.
Apparently, the people who developed Yoshi's New Island also
Artists.
did the Street Pass Me Plaza games, and We Play Motion.
Good. I suck at that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, We Play Motion like has 2 games that are awesome and the rest suck. So depending on which game, all the games in We Play Motion were made by different developers. So I don't know which ones are dink.
you know the bad ones? Those were made by this Yoshi team.
Probably.
The thing that really disappoints me about Yoshi's New Island is that, I mean, I didn't have high hopes for it to begin with, but I think Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island might be the best side-scrolling platformer of all time, or at least my favorite. And there's yet to
Donkey Kong
be
Country 2.
there's yet to be another Yoshi game that's managed to capture that, like, that game. Like, I think Yoshi's Island DS comes close, but it's still not as good.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't like Yoshi's Story. Sorry, all the people I'm offending.
It's not the
Rude.
same kind of game. It's totally different.
And Yoshi's
Yeah,
New
it is.
Island just wants to be those other games, but it doesn't want to do anything to set itself apart from them, except have horrible fucking graphics. So, I didn't.
Yeah, that game is not pretty at all.
It's just a forgettable, boring game. It's not the worst, but it's not good. So, that's all I gotta say about
Alright.
Yoshi's New Island.
R.I.P. Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Fucking pieces, Yoshi.
Looking
Yeah.
forward to Woolly World though.
Yeah, that should be
Woolly
cool.
World looks gorgeous.
It's
and
so
it looks like it
cute.
plays well.
Yeah.
I want to hug that whole game.
Yeah.
I will hug that whole game.
What if that game is just like Yoshi's Island, but like every once in a while the ground disappears.
Oh.
Okay.
And you
Okay,
just
this stage in Smash Brothers is not indicative of the game.
die.
Why else would they have that mechanic?
Because they put all this work into the tilty platforms that
Yeah.
like your weight distributes the the way the platform is tipping, and they were like, "You're gonna look at this and appreciate it, goddamn!
Son of a bitch.
You don't like the ground. We're gonna take away the ground."
But the ground like dips and stuff. That's cool,
Now,
man.
go to
Anyway, next game. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remaster.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
can talk
liked it.
about this game even though I didn't play the HD remaster.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X is a really good game, and I would recommend it. Final Fantasy X-2, not so much.
Hey, you know what?
That extra story tacked on is just completely horrible. So you get all 3 levels of like, goodness.
Spiraling into horror.
Yeah.
I
The
like Final
downfall.
Fantasy X quite a bit. I think Final Fantasy X is the last great Final Fantasy game.
I agree with you.
I think Final Fantasy X-2 is not a good game, but I had fun with it. I thought it was dopey and stupid, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, like this time around, I only played like 20 minutes of it. I know what happens. I just
A lot
don't
of people,
feel like playing it again.
a lot of people say that 10-2 has like a really fun battle system. Like I don't remember 10-2 at all. All I remember was, like it's all different now, and
It's all like
there's a Lulu replacement,
Yep.
and and there's a guy that looks like Tidus,
Yeah.
but she
Well-
gets with Tidus anyway at the end.
Yeah.
If you
Happy
do enough.
ending.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
if
don't
you do all
think
the
10-2 is. I don't think 10-2 is absolutely terrible like people pretend it is, but it's not a great game. It's an okay game, but I do think that Yuna is one of the most interesting video game characters like ever. And
in 10 itself proper, I completely agree.
Yeah, and
she's fantastic. The game is kind of like, even though it opens with like Tidus is like, this is my story, it's really not.
it's not.
It's really Yuna's story, and Tidus is kind of like along for the ride.
This story is about Yuna, and yeah, Tidus is just kind of there. And I think that Yuna's very interesting, and I think she carries the game, and I think that 10 is absolutely worth playing. And if this is the way you have to play it, then please play it. 10-2 is fun because, you know, it sees what these characters are up to after, you know, the burden is taken off of them. And it's dumb and it's stupid, but it's fun, you know? And even if you don't like where these characters are at this point, it's still, it doesn't take itself seriously, and it knows that it's stupid. So
I still think it's weird that Waka got Lulu pregnant because she used to go out with Chapu.
Not only did she used to go out with him, she was engaged to Chapu.
Yeah.
His
so
brother.
that's just weird.
It is weird.
Waka's got a big blitzball.
Just one. But yeah, I like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, it's a good game.
One thing about 10-2, from what I remember of the original PS2 game.
Yeah.
Best menu music ever. Like the start screen.
I don't
Best
remember
music.
it.
It was like a little piano thing.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Do the kazoo music from Yoshi's New Island.
All right.
No, not my Falcon Amiibo.
We
Anyway,
should just have you guys do the music for everything.
Yes, we should.
AdamantDitto theme song.
All right, from one HD game to another, Metal Gear Solid 5: Ground Zeroes, the prequel to Metal Gear Solid 5, the real one. Go ahead. Now.
The Phantom Pain.
Is that the subtitle?
Should be called the real
The
one.
real one. That would be great. No, it's the Phantom Pain.
Talk about Ground Zeroes, the shortest game on the list.
Yeah, it is. It probably is.
20 minutes.
Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes is pretty much a demo for the Phantom Pain. Like, Kojima was like, "All right, we're gonna make you pay $1 billion for this demo," and then everyone did, and
Then everybody complained.
I didn't. I got it off of Redbox and then played it for a day, and I got my worth out of it. Yeah, I beat it. It's got a lot of cool stuff. It's like it's the first time Metal Gear Solid is like a
Open world.
Yeah, open world. It's not really open world because it's fucking tiny. You're on an island, but it's a sandbox really.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant, but yeah.
Yeah, it's you like play around and like do these missions. The like main mission relates to no, not relates to. It's like the main story thing that you need to get out of Ground Zeroes. Basically, the entirety of Peace Walker is like thrown away in like 5 minutes. So you don't really need to play that game. It's just whatever.
Well,
Big Boss made this huge ass mother base or whatever. Oh, it's all blown up now. Metal Gear Z or whatever, it's gone. Okay, but anyway, Ground Zeroes is a lot of fun. Like mechanically, I like a lot of the things that they do with it. It also looks great. I played it on PS Triple, and it only looks better on other systems, except for 360 and Xbox One. I also played it on PC. It looks pretty good on PC, even though I have a crappy computer. What else?
I don't know. I haven't played it. I mean,
there's like an exclusive mission for the PS version, and the Xbox Xbox version also got like an exclusive mission. PlayStation 1 was Deja Vu, and you get to play as Solid Snake in an exclusive mission where you like go around and look at things, and then it,
Wow.
Exciting.
God damn it.
and
Metal Gear Solid.
box
If you
a bit.
look at
Do you go to like the do you go to the Louvre and shit?
Well, like you go to the security camera, and then it does like this crazy dun 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 dun, dun security camera.
Is that the Mona Lisa?
Sam took her clothes off.
Whose fingerprints are these?
Security camera.
Zoom and enhance.
It's super cool. Dave,
Talking
I
to
like
Gibbs and shit.
what? Talking
Just go on. Just
What?
move on. Ignore David.
Just keep going. I was doing an NCIS joke. Whatever. Fuck you guys.
I heard Gibbs, and I'm like, I'm not sure if that was an NCIS.
Oh, that's something I wanted to talk about. Like,
NCIS. Sorry. I'm sorry.
okay. Something I want to talk about was like the controversy of Kiefer Sutherland as Big Boss. I was about to say Solid Snake, but he isn't Solid Snake. He's Big Boss.
Right.
Like the original Snake
David Hayter.
is David Hayter, right? And this is the first time. Oh, well, not really the first time. There's that Ape Escape minigame where it was like.
Oh, that's true, but like, oh yeah, that's canon. Like you gotta.
No, I'm just saying. That Solid Snake was not David Hayter. But yeah, this canon game is the first time David Hayter is not voicing Snake, and it's like a big controversy and shit. People like want Hayter back and stuff like that. But I think Kiefer Sutherland does a decent job. I also love
But
Robin.
does he do a better job or just a decent job?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. It's just really hard to say.
All right.
Because like a lot of people's complaint about like David Hayter is because he puts on like that gravelly Otacon,
That
you know,
Like Batman?
Yeah.
He does Batman
that
voice?
kind of voice. He loses feeling, like he loses a little bit of humanity with him, and that's
It's like Batman.
that's I think that's the reason why Kojima decided to go with like
Somebody
an
else.
actual actor. So somebody who could portray Big Boss in the upcoming Phantom Pain, where like he becomes like a villain and shit. That's like the premise of the Phantom Pain. This is like the transition where like Big Boss becomes bad guy. So that'll be interesting. I'm excited
Don,
for it. What's up?
have you played all of the Metal Gear Solid games?
I haven't played 4 actually. I played
No.
1, 2, 3, but not 4.
So, how many more goddamn Metal Gear games do you think it's going to take before this story is told?
As many
I
as
don't
are
know.
profitable.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Like
All right.
whatchamacallits, Kojima does that thing that Sakurai also does. He's like, oh, this is the last one.
And then makes another
Yeah.
one.
But
And then makes another one.
it never is.
And it never
We're gonna
will
get another
be.
Kid Icarus now.
Kid Icarus Downrising.
Downright.
Play as Dark Pit the whole game.
Downdraft.
It's going to be starring Dark Pit.
Hey,
Yeah.
I feel like I just heard that joke.
Is there a parrot in the room?
I don't get it.
Matt just said that seconds ago.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Well then.
But yeah, for Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, it pretty much did its job. Like as a demo, it has made me excited about Metal Gear, like playing Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Like mechanically, there were some things that I didn't like. Like you would have to carry dudes to And
Giving him piggyback rides.
yeah, yes, that
That's
is
so funny.
like you have to like call the helicopter to the landing zone, and then you would have to drop them off at the landing zone when the helicopter comes. And that's just whatever. Because like in Peace Walker, they have something called the Fulton Recovery, and it's like basically a balloon thing that you attach to them, and then they get sent up in the air, and then you like they're captured.
That is silly.
It is incredibly silly, and that's why they're bringing it back. And Metal Gear
Oh,
Solid
thank God.
5, Phantom Pain, yeah. And you could like do all sorts of cool stuff with it, like attach it to a goat, or you can attach.
I'm on board. I love this game.
You can attach it to like the back of like a car, and
To your enemies.
yeah, well, yeah, that's how you capture them. But like you could attach it to the back of a car, like a Jeep, and then it'll carry it, like from the end that you put it on, like so you like, the back of the car again. It'll carry the Jeep into the air, and then it'll hit like a helicopter or something like that. You know?
This is
And then explode.
Yeah. And well, like you
Rockets
can also
explode.
put a C4 on it, and then you could put a Fulton recovery thing on it to make it fly into the air, and then it explodes on like whatever helicopter. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And they're also bringing back cardboard boxes for Phantom Pain. That was absent in Ground Zeroes, and that was disappointing. You know, cardboard boxes, that's what makes Metal Gear, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It was very disappointing that Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes are not have cardboard boxes. Oh, again, I missed talking about this when I was talking about Kiefer Sutherland and David Hayter, but I really like the guy who does Kaz, which is Robin
Cosby.
Atkin Downs, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He also plays the medic and Travis Touchdown in No More Heroes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good, and especially in the Deja Vu extra mission, he does some like really cool stuff.
All right.
Oh, and since we were talking about Kid Chris a little bit, the guy who does the voice of Pit also does the voice of Chico.
Nice.
Does he
Anthony
sound the
Del
same?
Rio?
Yeah, Anthony Del Rio. Even though it's like spelled Anthony, I'm pretty sure you pronounce it Anthony.
Yeah.
And yeah, he sounds like Pit.
That guy's great. Like his Pit is fantastic, I think.
He feels the same way.
Game for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, great game. Excited for Phantom Pain. Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
All right. Next game
Thanks, Tom.
is Pokemon Battle Trose, which I did a review of. So
just watch that.
just watch that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a fun little puzzle game, better than the first Trose. Embraces the Pokemon like elements a little bit better. I liked it.
Click on this.
Yeah, it was good for $7. Watch my review.
Yeah, click on this tiny picture of Matt to watch the review.
Yeah,
Now
I'm not putting in a tiny picture of me.
Now somebody has to edit
No,
it.
you're fucking out of your goddamn mind.
Pokemon
Oh my
Trose
god.
4 in a row, and you're good to go. That commercial was weird for the first time.
Yeah, it was. That's why I had to talk about it in the review. See? More. Go
Yeah.
watch the review. Go watch it. Go watch it.
Now!
Click this Ricky right here to go to the...
Why would it be?
Why would
Ricky didn't play it. Ricky didn't review it.
Nope.
It's okay. We like Ricky.
Wow.
We'll wait until after you watch it.
Don't like
Find
that.
anything else. But you
No, we clicked on Matt the first time. Click
Love
on
you.
Ricky now.
It's a fun puzzle game. If you like puzzle games, you'll like it. If you like Pokemon, you've already
Yeah.
bought it. So
If you like
Yeah.
reviews, click on Phil and you can go and watch Matt's reviews.
Shut up.
the next game was
Yeah.
I thought for sure that Matt would like stretch out, say as much about Battle Trose as he could, so they wouldn't have to talk about this next game.
no man. We spent a lot of time in the last two games, so I want to get through. I want to get through the smaller ones quicker. So Battle Trose is fun. a good puzzle game. Go watch my review.
All right.
Click on Josh to watch the review.
Yeah.
So talk about fucking Flappy Golf.
Hey! I made Matt put this on the list because I have played it and it came out this year. Flappy Golf.
Flappy Bird?
It just my grandma has it on her
I'm gonna
iPad for
download
the
it
kids,
right now.
and I happen to play it over there, and it's kind of fun. It's just like a little mini golf game where there's like a 2D world, and you gotta flap, just like Flappy Bird. Like the controls are the same. You touch to flap, and you gotta get the ball in the hole, and it's just a little. I don't know. I didn't buy it.
It's not.
But,
It's free. I'm downloading it right now.
All right, then you should play it because I actually had a lot of fun with it. It's a cute little iOS game or whatever. So I played it. Flappy Golf.
All right.
That's my blurb.
Click on David's face to watch the review.
I played it.
That's my back of the box.
The back of the box is, I played it.
I played it.
There's no box.
I know.
I wish there was.
It's your little comment on the bottom of the iTunes page.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was fun. So
It was a game.
yep.
Thanks for
Displays hundreds of colors.
thanks for sharing, Ricky.
Not a flying toy.
Move on to April.
Let's move on to April. The first game on our list for April. I love this next game. It's I think it's the best hidden gem of the year, and it is Rusty's Real Deal Baseball for the 3DS. You may or may not have heard of it because they were kind of pushing it for a while. One day you open your 3DS and it's just downloaded on there. Nintendo's just like, here, take it. But
Yeah.
it's
Just to go load.
it's a Nintendo game. It's by Nintendo, and basically what it is it's a free to play game with microtransactions, but done in a way that only Nintendo could do. You're a visitor to this sports shop, baseball store, and it's run by this guy named Rusty Slugger. He's a dog, and he used to be a baseball player, like a really famous, very good baseball player, and he's got these 10 kids now. He's a little worn down. His wife had just left him. A Nintendo game where the wife had just left the main character. Think about that. But he's trying to make ends meet at this store, so he sells you these different, they're basically mini games, but they're all baseball themed, and they all use the 3DS in different ways. There's ones where you have to use the gyro controls. Those ones kind of suck, but then there's ones where you use the buttons and everything, and there's pitching games and hitting games and catching games, and they're all really fun. But what really makes Rusty's Real Deal Baseball stand out is the character of Rusty himself and the way you interact with him. The whole idea of the game is you're listening to Rusty tell his story about his wife, and you're trying to buy these. He's trying to sell these games to you, and you can haggle with him. And in fact, they encourage you to haggle with him. Each of the games costs $4 real, and you can get them down to, I think the lowest one that you can go is $1. Certain ones you can go down to $1.60. I think in total for the 10 games, the lowest you can get them all for is $16 in total. When they'd be $40 if you paid the regular price. But you haggle with him and you hear his stories and you talk to him, and the game kind of actually makes you feel bad for haggling with him because he's such a sad sack. And
Yeah, he gives away one of his children to you because he can't take care of it.
Yeah,
by
Only
himself.
support 9 out of the 10.
yeah, so you have one of his kids helping you with the stuff he talked. And
Yeah.
and when I say the game encourages you to haggle with him and try to get the games cheaper, the kid will come out and say, I think you can go lower than this, or when it's at its lowest point, the kid will go, all right, don't stretch him too thin. I think this is the lowest he'll go. And I think that's a really interesting way to handle microtransactions, because most games it's just hey, you want to play this? $5 DLC. With this one, there's a story behind it, and you get to sort of control what you pay, and it's really interesting.
Plus,
It's
you got a
the
trophy
story.
in Smash Brothers.
Yes.
The story's episodic. You'll have a bunch of only a few of them have I think it's a key symbol next to it. That'll sort of unlock the next story thing for you. There's so many games that aren't required.
Yeah, there's 6 games to beat the story of the game. You only need to play 6 of them, but there's 10 total.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
they're all pretty fun.
yeah, they are fun. I think the game is fun, but I think the real draw of it is like just how endearing Rusty as a character is, and like you want to see him like get back with his wife. You want to see him like succeed. And I think the storytelling's really well done. I think the character development is really well done, and I think it's just a really fun little game, and I think a lot of people overlooked it, and I don't think they should. I think if you have a 3DS, you should play it.
If you really want him to succeed, why do you scam him?
Because I'm also cheap.
I was gonna say the way that Don like initially described this game to me, he said something like, "It makes you feel terrible."
Yeah. Well, it kind of does because he's such a sad sack. Like I said, like
Yeah.
he's down in a rut. There's a part in the game where like his store like gets destroyed, and you're just like,
God.
you're just like, oh no. Yeah. It's really, it's an interesting game. It's such a bizarre like concept, but I think it really
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. I also kind of feel like it's just a social commentary on like DLC and microtransactions in general is handled. But it like you said, it does in like a Nintendo way, and it just ends up being really fun. There's dudes with fucking ultra machines for heads, you know.
Yes, they're my favorite part of like the actual game. Next to obviously.
Yeah, it really embraces like Nintendo history. Like the games themselves are on like Famicom cartridges, and it's the like company that makes the games is what is it? Nintendo.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The Nintendo 4DS.
it's very tongue in cheek and it's very funny. It's an endearing game. That's the best way to put it. Endearing. I really
Even if you don't like baseball, check it out.
yeah.
Don got super
Yeah,
addicted
Yeah.
to
I
it.
don't. I don't.
I was
really
pretty
like
addicted
baseball,
to it.
and I like it.
Yeah, it's not
I
a
still
traditional baseball
play it.
game. Like it's
I remember you guys were pretty addicted to it for a while, and I got that download that you were talking about where Nintendo was like, please play this fucking game because we need you to. And I don't know, I played it for like 10 minutes and didn't really get into it, but that might be because I just had a bunch of other games to play. But maybe I'll give it another shot. I don't know.
if you ever have downtime, I recommend it. I think it's really good.
All right.
I think even if you just play the like 6 story games and just spend like $10 or however much it is, I think it's worth the $10 to play
Okay.
it. I think so. The mini games are fun. The character is great. The story is great. It's just good. It's a really good game, and not a lot of people paid attention to it, and that makes me sad.
The only thing that I felt like I didn't get my money's worth was the like bat making mini game.
That mini game sucks.
Like I made my bat and it was godlike the first time, and I was like, okay, I guess I don't need any more
Yes,
bats.
there's my $2. I made a good bat.
Yeah.
Oh well. Guess I'll never
Yeah.
play that one again.
But it's also kind of interesting because like depending on how you make it, it'll also change the way your bat works. So if you like make it incredibly bad and like just a fat ass log, you like swing it really slowly. I have like some screenshots of my character Snoop Dogg with a log that looks like a cigarette, and he's like swinging it really slowly.
Good. There you go. If you didn't want to buy it for the endearing characters, buy it for Snoop Dogg swinging a cigarette bat.
But yeah, it's a great game. Great game. It's very skill based. Like, a lot of the harder challenges are really, really hard.
Yeah.
If it's skill based, then I'm out.
The difficulty ramps up like steadily, but it ramps up. It gets hard.
Yeah.
Good. So she said.
Yes. Thanks.
Oh, you.
Thanks, Josh.
That's why I'm here, isn't it?
Yep,
No.
you can always count on Josh.
Okay. The next game on this list, I don't even know why I fucking put this on this list. I played it for like 2 minutes.
I don't either.
It's Disney Magical World. It's a game that came out for the 3DS. I think Nintendo actually published it in the US, which is weird. It's like Animal Crossing meets Disney meets Fetch Quests. I bought it for Carissa and because it was on sale, and we played it together for like a night and then never played it again. It's just a bunch of.
Chris is gonna be like, "You bought this for me because it was on sale."
She's not gonna listen to this.
She hates this show.
She just walked into the room.
She doesn't hate the show. But what does she give a shit about Steel Diver or Metal Gear Ground Zeroes or Flappy Golf?
I don't.
Hey, now.
You're an all-star.
Get your game on. Go play.
Okay, keep going.
No, I don't.
I want to hear about Disney Magical World.
I don't really have anything else to say about Disney Magical World.
Is it in fact a magical world?
I mean,
I had more to say about Nidhogg than playing Disney Magical World.
and I played that one. You get to run a cafe and like decorate it with like Disney like items, and you could like
Do that shit tomorrow at work. That is not magical.
You can talk to like Disney characters, and I'm pretty sure all the models are just taken straight from Kingdom Hearts. They all look like they're the exact same model.
Wow.
Like Aladdin's in there, and
Kingdom
like
Hearts.
Jack Skellington, and
So Disney Magical
Ditch.
World, or as I call it, Tuesday afternoon.
yeah, it's. I mean, it's cute, and I'm sure it's fun if you like put time into it. But I moved on to everything else like right away. So, sorry, Disney Magical World.
Disney's
Yeah, right.
regular world.
But you can tell I'm such a bitch for Disney that I bought it anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, we knew you were a bitch for Disney already.
Yeah, I know. NES Remix 2. Next game.
Let's go back to Rusty real quick.
Electric Boogaloo.
I want to play this. End of discussion.
I want to as well.
I didn't play the first
Also
NES
classic.
Remix.
I heard the second one was better.
It is, yeah, as far as I know, it is better, and it's a lot of fun. It's just little mini challenges with like NES games, but it's fun, man. It's cool to play in like short doses, you know. Like it's just something you pop in.
Is
for
this
a few
gonna put-
minutes.
Is this gonna put WarioWare out of work?
It might. Is it by the same team? I don't
Alright.
think it
Not
is.
really. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, it's by the same team that did Retro Game Challenge. That's why I like it so much.
Oh yeah. That's why. That's why.
I love Retro Game Challenge.
Yeah, that game's sick. But
There's a problem with NES Remix. I think. Some of the challenges are just like, hey, play the game.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Just do this thing that you would do in the game that you would be playing.
Yeah, but then sometimes they do stuff really cool, like they'll turn the lights off, or you'll play as, you know, Samus in Super Mario Bros.
The
3.
Underground.
The
Yeah.
like actual remix challenges, those were pretty neat.
Yeah, but
you
they're
know,
so
like-
few and far between. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
There's not enough of them. Most of them are just like collect this many coins in this many seconds, or you know,
Yeah, play the game.
Yeah, knock down Glass Joe. Like, okay, I gotta do that to progress anyway.
yeah. But NES Remix 2 has better games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
it has a better game selection than the first one.
the
Yeah.
first one relied on like all the like launch title games, like Wrecking Crew and Excite Bike and fucking Urban Champion.
Yeah.
Whereas the second one had Kirby's Adventure and Metroid and Punch Out and Super Mario Bros. 3. It's just better.
It is. I haven't played it though.
Yeah, and they released a like combo pack where you can get both of them on a disc, and I didn't know they were gonna do that.
Wait, it was a disc.
And
I
then
thought it was
they-
a 3DS game.
That's Ultimate NES Remix.
Yeah.
And then,
And then like after NES Remix 2, I think it was the first one. I think it was after the second one. They said, like the developer said, "Oh, we can't do this on the 3DS." And
Then they
here
did.
They are. It's on the 3DS.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was basically a combination of the two, but with less games. Like it didn't have all the games from the two. Cut out Urban
Probably-
Champion. I know you're all very upset about it.
They probably got rid of the ones where
Ice hockey.
the 3DS actually couldn't handle it. So.
Why couldn't the fucking 3DS handle ice hockey?
Yeah, some like there are some challenges where like you play on 9 fucking screens or something like that.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept, and I think it's fun. And like I said, in small doses. I would love to see like a Super Nintendo, like SNES remix.
Yeah.
Or it would never happen, but I'd love to see an NES Remix 3 with like third-party games, like Mega Man and Castlevania,
Nope.
Contra. No, that would
I
that would
do-
be way too much work. But
SNES Remix would be badass though.
I do really like the idea of both of those games. I just think they're overpriced.
probably.
Like for what they are, like I think $15 is a little steep.
Little man.
But it's an
That's
interesting.
alright. You could just wait to get your platinum reward.
It's an interesting way to breathe new life into old games.
It is, and I like that they're doing it because there are, a lot of people who own these consoles nowadays who've never had an NES.
Mhm.
Even I don't even mean like kids. I mean people like Josh or Kyle who started later in video games history.
I had an NES. I had like 5 games for it.
Okay.
One of them Urban
people like
Champions?
Kyle.
Poor bastard.
I only had Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo.
I mean, that's a great game though. So
Yeah.
It's not the game you need.
I want to see a Super Nintendo remix, but that probably won't happen. But NES remix, it's fun. It is overpriced, but it's fun.
It is fun to like just try to not just to beat your own records, but to beat other
Your
people's
friends.
records.
Yeah.
Like you see some dude on Miiverse and you're like, I'm gonna beat you. You could also just see the replay.
Yeah, that's a really cool feature. It is.
You can do that in Tropical Freeze as well. You can like watch.
Yeah,
Mario
and that is also a neat feature. I kind of wish they did that in a certain super game.
Oh, Superman
released
64.
Yeah, super.
see how quick your friends can get through the rings.
You guys are ridiculous. I can't believe how hard so many of you laughed at that.
Flappy golf.
Yeah. Flappy golf.
Hey now.
You're an all-star.
Like,
It's a game
there's a certain game that we're gonna talk about later that I think would benefit from like seeing
Other people's replays.
Captain Toad.
yeah
Shut up.
Can
other
you,
people's replays.
what does it rhyme with?
Like the name of the game or like
Yeah.
the mode? Okay.
No, the name of the game.
Oh. Mashed potato samurai.
It's not a game.
That's a poison.
All right, We're gonna move on to the. We're into May now, and the first game in May.
Hey, now you're an all-star.
Kirby Triple Deluxe.
the first,
Kirby Triple
the
Deluxe.
first game in May is Kirby Triple Deluxe, which is a fantastic fucking game that I did a
It
Let's
is,
Play
it
of,
is.
and you should watch it because I was really proud of that Let's Play. But Ricky, you haven't talked much in a while, so talk about Triple Deluxe.
I haven't played the last few games that we've been talking about, but I fucking adore Triple Deluxe. It was exactly, oh man, when they announced, you know, the Kirby 3DS game that was gonna be like Kirby's Return to Dreamland, I was like, that game's gonna kick my ass, and it did. That game is so good. Like, I've said many times in the past that Return to Dreamland on the Wii was the Kirby game that I had been waiting for a decade. And it was, and I love that game to death. But I think Triple Deluxe outdid it, and I only had to wait a few years for it.
You know, I am right there with you. I felt like Kirby Return to Dreamland really, really wanted to be Kirby Superstar Part 2, but
Well,
I think Kirby Triple Deluxe blew it out of the park. I think it's the sequel that Kirby Superstar deserves. I think it's fantastic.
I agree. I like I said, I love Return to Dreamland to death. I think it's an amazing game. But this, I just love the new abilities in this one. I love the old abilities, like Wheel is back. Hell yeah. I love the extra little, like Kirby Fighters is wicked fun, actually.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? The download version of that game is also very fun.
I kind of want to get it, but I kind of can't.
I downloaded it before Smash Brothers came out just to kind of hold me over, and I've really loved it.
Nice.
I just wish it had online.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Anyway.
But yeah, like, I feel like Triple Deluxe does everything right. Like, it has the 3D gimmick, of like the two planes. You know, you can go into the background like Virtual Boy Wario Land, or Mutant Muds, but like, it makes use of it. You really feel like these levels are, you know, it doesn't feel like, I mean, it's totally a gimmick, but it doesn't feel like it was shoehorned in. It feels like these levels were designed around it, and it's awesome. There's stuff that you can shoot into the background and Blake blocks.
Like blocks.
And, you know, there's just all kinds of cool stuff like that. It's even got gyro controls in it that didn't annoy me. Like, how the hell did they pull that off?
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, like, they weren't annoying. Like, they shouldn't be there. I would still prefer that they weren't there, but never when I was playing it was I like, God fucking, why the...
Yeah.
You know, it didn't happen. Like, they actually worked. Like, and I love I love when my train of thought just
Cheers.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody else talk about what a great game that is.
Okay. I really like the supernova ability. I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like in Return to Dreamland, I liked the super abilities. It was cool, but they got old. You know, they all do the one thing, and it's like, here, do the thing, and you're like, all right,
I did the
great.
thing.
But like Hypernova, there's actually really fun, creative puzzles built around it, and boss fights built around it. Like,
yeah, you get to like eat a train.
Yeah.
When was the last time you did that in a video game?
Never.
It was. Hypernova was super awesome. Go on, Matt.
I was also gonna say I really like the like DDD mode, which is just like a speed run mode, but with DDD and harder bosses. I think that's really cool.
It is, yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Me too.
And I like that it added a few new bosses from other Kirby games to the boss mode there.
Yeah, that was completely random, but I was all for it. I thought it was super cool. It's you know, Dark Meta Knight and
Dark DDD.
Dark DDD, yeah. Mask DDD, that like, I just.
Oh man, that Mask DDD fight where he just whips out the axe.
Dude, badass, right? Badass. Oh man, I absolutely love.
You know, I don't expect the Kirby games to ever have callbacks to other Kirby games, and then I'm always delighted when they do.
Yeah, for sure. I actually really liked Sectonia as a villain too. She was cool.
She was interesting.
She didn't she wasn't like, wow, what a great villain or anything, but she was cool.
She was cool looking, at least.
Yeah.
I really liked the keychains that you could collect.
Oh, the keychains were so cool! That was like trophies, but they were sprites.
And they were all Kirby.
Yeah. Oh man, just I'm stammering. I just like can't articulate how much I love that game. But
I think Kirby Triple Deluxe is a great game. It's another great platformer released this year.
I agree.
One of the best games on the 3DS, I think. Maybe the best Kirby game ever made. I love that game.
I don't know about that, but it's at least it's in the top 3 definitely.
Yeah, I love that game. Did a whole Let's Play of it. Go watch it. It's great.
Our Let's Play of it is pretty damn funny too, I might add.
Yeah. Not to toot our own horns.
Yeah.
Toot.
But like Matt, you said you were really proud of that one.
I was really proud of that one.
Because we were on point in it. Even when there's only a few of us in the call at times, like, it was really funny. So,
I had a lot of fun doing that last play.
Yeah. And we got one of our most beloved running gags out of it in the first 5 seconds.
Banana Waddle Dee?
Banana Waddle Dee.
Banana Waddle Dee is my favorite.
Yeah, I hope he's in Smash Bros.
That's too bad you can't play it.
Me too.
You can in Rainbow Curse when that comes.
That's right. You can play as like 4 different ones.
Yeah.
All kinds of bananas.
So many bananas.
Bananas. Alright, well, moving on from Triple Deluxe, although it is a great game, we gotta move on. Mario Golf World Tour came out, I believe, the same day. But I could be crazy.
But nobody played it because Kirby came out.
I played it just months later. I really like the Mario Golf games. I especially really liked Toadstool Tour on the GameCube. I actually sunk a lot of hours into that game, despite the fact that it's just a golf game with Mario characters. And I think World Tour is a lot like it, and it's very fun. I mean, I don't really have too much to say about it. If you've played Toadstool Tour and you enjoyed it, you will like World Tour. The stages are cool. There's like DLC where you can download like Nabbit and Rosalina and stuff, and that's cool, but I mean, you gotta pay for it. But the like DLC courses are cool. They're like Mario themed, and that's neat. And there's like a weird like story mode that I don't really like the story mode too much, but you get to see like Bowser chilling on a couch with everybody.
So you get to go to like the country club house and see just like Bowser just chilling out discussing golf techniques with
That's pretty silly.
Mario and Peach. Like, yeah, I haven't played the game, but I really want to play it just for that.
Yeah, the story mode's alright. You gotta replay the same like courses like over and over and over again, and that sucks. Especially since you have to play it to unlock other courses, and that's lame. But I think on the whole, I mean, it controls well. It's a fun little golf game. If you like the other Mario Golf games, you will like World Tour.
I did want to check it out. The thing that looked appealing to me just from like the stuff I've seen of it was that the holes, the courses are really like diverse.
Yeah, there's like an underwater one. and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like they're not all. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have. It's a golf game. You gotta have a few, grassy hills and stuff. But they looked really like original and cool in that one, and that appealed to me.
It was. It's probably the best one of the Mario Golf games, I think. I might have a lot of nostalgia for Toadstool Tour, but it's probably the best one.
This is the game that added a lot of DLC, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was wasn't it all on cartridge?
No, I don't.
Was
I
it?
don't think so.
I wouldn't know about
No?
that. I think they it was just like, hey, here's all this DLC with screenshots and everything, all the courses, all the characters that you'll get. Season pass, you'll get it later.
Well, it was like day one DLC. That's why I guess I thought that, right?
No, that's.
I don't think.
No?
I'm pretty sure that was a season pass.
Yeah, you could buy the season pass and you got like old
Alright.
Mario or some bullshit like right away. But
Old Mario?
Gold Mario.
Oh yeah.
but I'm pretty sure like Toadette, Nabbit,
Old
Rosalina, and the others like
They were released later,
they were-
but I'm like, it kind of put me off from buying Mario Golf because I was like, why are you gonna make DLC before the game's even out?
because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, Nintendo, you're better than this.
Hey man, sometimes
Pink Gold Mario for DLC.
sometimes you gotta go.
At least fucking pretend that you made it after the game's out, like Sakurai's doing with Mewtwo.
You think he's pretending?
Mewtwo is in Melee. He already exists.
Well, how similar is he gonna be? We don't know.
Yeah, I know.
We've
I don't
seen
know.
that one.
I don't.
You know he's
he-
gonna be the
he
same
could be- He
character,
could
come
be
on.
actually working on it. I don't fucking know. I'm just kidding. Shit.
It takes like a year to
That dude's
develop
taking
one
a
character in that
nap.
game. Okay.
I just.
He was working on this game for
okay.
50 years.
Ice Climber. Ice Climbers.
Devs should just pretend that they're actually making it after the game's out, instead of being like, "Hey, we got DLC day one."
Do you really want to play as
Buy
Toadette? Well, buy the fucking DLC.
$20, please.
Yeah, I feel you.
Anyway, Battle Block Theater. Talk about that.
It
I don't
came
know what
out
that
on
is.
PC and I played it with Amanda. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched you guys playing it, and it looked pretty amusing. Kind of. It's got kind of that.
Anti-co-op.
Yeah. Like it's a cooperative game, but it's also you can be a dick.
Like New Super Mario Brothers U.
Yeah, exactly, and I dig that. So it looked
Yeah.
amusing.
I also played it with Phil, and you could make your own stage. I made like an AdamantDitto stage, and it was like
Cool.
What did that entail?
it was just like a pink blobby thing.
Oh,
Like
alright.
each block had like a special property in that game. Like it'll have just like not really explosive. It's like a lava block. I don't even know. Like, but you would jump on it and it would like spring you forward like a spring. Like, cause it was hot or something.
It was Flubber.
No,
It's Flubber.
there's like a flubber block, kind of. That's the one I use for AdamantDitto
Miss
stage.
Flubber.
You could like stick to it. But yeah, each block had like a unique property that you could.
That's the opposite of Flubber.
You're the opposite of Flubber.
Whoa!
Shots fired.
It was just a slimy, goopy thing. Shit. Fuck.
Alright.
That's why I used it.
Spending a lot of time criticizing the material that this block is made of.
Material
kinda just, like-
world, and I am a material girl. Oh, sorry.
You just kind of like go around collecting things, and then you beat the level, and then you use whatever you collect to unlock more
Levels.
skins for your character, pretty much.
Also, like weapons and stuff.
Oh yeah, and weapons. Like there are also like weapons you can use. There was this really interesting like weapon where you like shoot out like some sort of plasma ball in a sort of danger wrap arc, like in Smash Bros. Sort of like that. and it would like send out this like pulse that would push things like really far away. And so in co-op, I would use that and then have somebody jump at the end of it when it would explode, and it would send them like super far away.
Sequence breaking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of like pretty like super hidden stuff. Like if you try to go out of your way to like get to this one area, it might lead you to like a bonus room, and it's kind of pretty neat. Just hidden stuff. It's made by the Newgrounds guys, the people that
Alien Hominid, Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys did some good shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I've heard mostly good things about it, and like I said, it looked fun watching you guys play. So
I don't care too much for the story. It was just like whatever.
Yeah, well, again,
Yeah, it's not. You just like dick around on stages.
Yep.
Me and Phil also played it, and we had fun for a little while.
That's Don's blurb. You just stick around.
Yeah. On the back of the box.
the blurbs.
All right. Mario Kart 8.
Oh,
Mario Kart 8.
Stick around.
Yeah.
mate.
It's
What? What?
oh, I love it.
I don't know, man.
Uh,
That might be my game of the year.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 kicks ass.
I
It does. It's really good.
probably the best Mario
It
Kart
is-
ever made, almost.
I think
I
it
would-
is.
I would say that, yeah.
It's
Even
Like-
though it's just an F-Zero game.
Yeah.
rest in peace, F-Zero.
I remember when they like announced before the game was out, they were like, "Hey, it's gonna have 12 racers again." I remember when they said that, I was like, "Oh no!" But like, I found that I didn't care. Like, it didn't bother me that there were 12 racers.
Because they fixed
Like,
the item system, man.
They did. It turns out that it wasn't the 12 racers that sucked. It was the POW block.
Well, not just that, but you can't hold another item while you have an item. So, like, the item system is much more balanced. Like, I mean, it's still Mario Kart. You can still win by being fucking...
Yeah, there's still gonna be unfair shit happening to you. That's Mario Kart, but
Yeah.
it feels a lot less annoying this time around. And I think the game absolutely kicks ass.
Yeah.
So
It's got the best, like, selection of courses in any Mario Kart game, I think. There's not a track I dislike. I mean, at least of the
Yeah.
new ones. I mean, most of I like all the retro ones, too. I mean, like, Donut Plains is boring, and there's, like, DLC with SNES Rainbow Road for no reason, and that sucks. But, like, all the, like, new courses, they're all so they're all so
great.
good.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful game.
Yeah. Oh man, it looks gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
When you like go underwater and like come out, there's like water on the screen and shit. When you go over the snow or sand, you see it on your tires.
Mm-hmm.
But like
when you're driving around the
goddamn.
track, the like tire marks are on the track from when you were last there. Like,
Yeah, they stay
Yeah.
there. It's awesome.
yeah,
It's so cool.
I think it's the best looking game on the Wii U. I think.
it's
It really is.
I wouldn't be quick to argue with you because it's really fucking pretty.
And it's crazy because like Mario Kart Wii and like Mario Kart DS or Double Dash and DS, they all kind of don't look good. They're more like
Yeah.
they're
They didn't really push
yeah,
it.
they're more designed to be
Yeah.
optimized like to run better rather than like look nice. But like the Wii U was like a floundering console. So like they were like, well, we got to do everything that we can to make people realize how powerful and how good our console is. What's a game that's going to put butts in seats? Mario Kart. Well, we're going to put as much effort into this fucking game as possible. So they made
Yeah.
it's the best looking Mario Kart game, like bar none.
Oh yeah, there's not even a contest
Yeah,
there.
Maybe the best
You're-
looking, one of the best looking games.
You're saying you're like, I think it's the best looking Wii U game, but there's no like, if anybody makes the case that it's not.
Well, I
the
mean
best
for
looking
the console
Mario
that
Kart
it's on. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
it is not perfect.
Yeah, the battle mode sucks.
They did fix a lot of the problems with it though, with the like update. There was like some kind of the update that added the.
Oh yeah, the
Mercedes
original
Benz.
release
Mercedes
of
Benz.
Mario Kart 8.
It was.
Like-
It had a lot of really nitpicky, like
Yeah.
small problems. Like it didn't save your kart configuration, and like when you were in a Grand Prix, the replay was at the top, and next race
That
you
was
had to
so stupid.
move
Why
down,
did they do
stuff
that?
like that. But they fixed all that stuff. Like all the little tiny nitpicky problems they fixed, which is great. The one thing they didn't fix that is still a huge flaw of the game is the battle mode is terrible.
It's the worst
like
battle
Matt
mode
said.
yet. They didn't.
It's
such a tacked
not a
on
battle
like.
mode. Yeah.
They were like, well, all the other games had battle mode, so I guess we better throw it in here. Well, the game's due tomorrow. It's got to be on the shelves tomorrow.
Yeah, they clearly did not care.
What do we do? Well, let's just
guess we'll just-
take fucking 6 courses and you just battle on those. Like, not even like custom, not even like battle mode courses, just stages in the game. Just race around in a circle trying to find people on Yoshi Valley.
It's so not fun. Like I've always I mean I like battle mode, but I would rather just race even in the best, the games that have the best battle modes. But the fact that they just didn't care about it at all, that's a flaw. Like even if you don't care about the battle mode, the fact that it's just so crapped out is bad.
It's the second biggest flaw of the game. You know what the biggest one is?
No Diddy Kong?
N64 Rainbow Roads 1 lap.
Oh yeah, that's bullshit.
I don't know.
But
That's the biggest flaw.
I think the battle mode is a big.
No Bowser Jr.
No bad.
What about
all
the roster?
I think the
You got all 8 Koopalings.
I think the roster is great. Other than it's
Also-
got two. There's
There's no Honey Queen.
I guess it's
Too
not.
many Marios. Too many Marios.
There's too many Mario characters.
Yeah.
Too many. Are you doing too many cooks right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Except 3 Marios.
Well, like I think that the 7 Kooplings are there. I think that's fucking great.
That is great.
If you're complaining about that, you and I do not see eye to eye. But
We will never be friends.
the problem isn't the Koopalings. It's that if we got rid of Pink Gold Peach and Metal Mario and Baby
Mario.
Selena, if we got rid of those 3 and put in Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr. and
Funky Kong.
And anyone else.
yeah, anyone, Egad, Funky Kong,
Captain Falcon.
anybody, then it would be great. Roster would be perfect. It's the fact that there's like a million versions of all these characters. It's like what's going on here?
I've always wanted to
DLC
play
added
as 4
Peach
different Marios and 4 different Peaches.
Peach Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a joke. But really, when you get down to it, who cares? Like, the courses are still amazing. They're the best they've ever been. The item balance is better. The
Graphics.
I love Mario Kart TV is awesome, actually. Like, I do wish you had a little bit more control over it, but for what it is, being able to like watch replays and do slow motion and focus on individual characters and stuff, I think it's super cool. And you can look at other people's replays and like find shortcuts and laugh when your dad gets fucking destroyed by a bullet bill or something. Like, I think Mario Kart TV as a mode is pretty cool.
Yeah, a whole meme spawned from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Luigi.
Yeah. Get hilarity like that because of being able to do slow motion,
I love Mario.
I
Oh,
Is that the Luigi
such
Luigi
good.
meme?
yeah, we're
Such
just
good.
there.
Luigi's
Fucking hilarious.
is great.
I want to say one thing that I had I was nitpicky about and I didn't like was whenever I do split screen with Amanda, I wanted to just have my own screen on the gamepad.
Yeah, that's really dumb. I think like the coolest thing about the Wii U is the gamepad, and I feel like Nintendo doesn't know how to use the gamepad, and that's a problem because like when you play split screen, it should automatically give one person the TV and one person the gamepad, but there's no option for that at all. It's split screen on the gamepad. What you see on the TV is what you see on the gamepad. Even if you're playing 4 players, like it's 4 little ass boxes on the gamepad, and that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really dumb. I agree.
It's like even like Hyrule Warriors, like even though the frame rate apparently drops to nothing when you're playing multiplayer, at least it gives you 2 different screens you can look at. That's just, I think that's bad. That's bad. But I don't think it hurts the game overall. I still think it's probably the best Mario Kart game, or close to it.
It's got good online too.
Yeah, online's really great,
I've had very few problems with it. So
and you don't get stuck playing the same courses over and over again because you can only pick from like 3 at a time.
yeah, like they improved on that system. That's
I don't have to play Maka Woohoo 600 times in a row.
You know, let's be real. If you're listening to this, you've probably already played Mario Kart 8, but man, is it good.
Yeah, it's one of the best games of the year.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore that game, and I'm glad it came out, and I'm glad I played it, and the DLC tracks are cool too.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
great. I think the DLC is well worth it. I'm looking forward to Pack 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pack 1 DLC character is pretty cool. I like playing as Link.
Yeah, so does everybody else.
I also want to mention another nitpicky thing about Mario Kart 8.
Stop shitting on my game.
There's no settings. Like, there is no settings options menu.
What do you want to change?
Well, like, what if I want to fucking turn off the music and just listen,
Why would
wanna
you wanna
listen
do
to
that?
sound effects or something like that?
And too
I
bad.
don't know. What if I want to fucking make a montage video and I want to have different background music, but I want to keep the sound effects?
And too bad.
I mean, I guess.
Or what if I want to change the controls?
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But
Too bad.
I do wish that is the thing is like similar to another game that came out this year. What needed to be there is there and works perfectly and is great, but all the trappings and like the features, it feels very empty.
yeah, it's definitely
Um,
light on. I don't want to say light on content, but at the same time, it kind of is.
Well,
Light
like,
on customization.
there's like not a lot of modes. There's not a lot of like customization. Yeah, like like I said, similar
Like-
game
When they patched in, like, on-screen map,
yeah.
I had no idea how to turn it on. I
Yeah.
thought they were going to include a settings menu for me to turn it on.
Figure it out on your own. Good
No.
luck, fucker.
No, exactly. Like, I had no idea how to do it. For a long time after the patch, I was like, how do I fucking do it? You know what? I need it. I'm playing on the gamepad.
Dang it, Bobby.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Great game. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for the more DLC. The more
Almost as
DLC.
great as
Yeah, Tomodachi Life.
Tomodachi Life. Which I have not played, but I heard was fun for like 10 minutes.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much of a
You want
life.
to talk? You want to talk about a game that doesn't have a lot to do? That's Tomodachi Life, but it is very charming and hilarious, and I felt like I got my money's worth out of it.
You think it'll be like Animal Crossing, where it doesn't really come into its own as being a great game until like 4 games in?
First of all, I played the first Animal Crossing for a year straight.
So did I, and
So-
I loved
The
it.
one on the
Fuck
N64
you.
Japan?
No.
No, the
No,
GameCube
shut
one
up,
is
Josh. You
shit,
know
yes.
what we meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
But
No,
the
the first one's fantastic.
yeah. Well, it's.
They're all fantastic.
I would like to see another Tomodachi Life with some more features. You know, that would be great. But for what it is, it's funny. There's so for there not being a lot for you to do, there is a lot of humor to be found in it if you pair up your little Miis and you make them sing rap battles, and you put them on the stage and put lyrics in their mouth and they say some crazy ridiculous shit like Ridley's not in Smash or like whatever. And it's just it's hard to describe. It's not really a game. Like you really don't have a lot of control over it like you would do in Animal Crossing, and stuff just kind of happens and you kind of watch it play out and laugh to yourself. And like because of that, it's definitely going to be a very niche audience. There's you got to be of a certain mindset to enjoy it. But I will say pretty confidently that if you think you would enjoy it from what you've seen of it, you probably will. If what you've seen of it is like you're like, this game looks kind of weird, you probably won't like it.
I thought it was alright,
But-
it was more of like a fishbowl experience.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I felt like I'm glad I played it. I felt like I got my money's worth out of it. It's a cute little weird game.
I don't
Way
think
too
we'll
much
see
time
another one.
playing it.
They've already said that they're going to make another one.
Really?
Yeah, like when people went and did all that petition and stuff and tried to have
Oh yeah, the whole controversy about no gay
Yeah,
marriage.
same-sex marriages.
the same-sex marriage thing. They said that the next one will have it in it. So
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that there will be a next one.
I think it's
No,
sold
means that
pretty
there
well.
are- yeah, means there are plans for a next one at least.
It does.
I would like to
Well,
see.
it's a series in Japan. Like this is just
This
like
is the second
I don't
one, I
know.
think.
Second or third one. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was on the original DS.
DS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the assets on TSR.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they have the assets for the original Tomodachi
It's-
Life on the Spreader's
It's
Resource.
it's actually
Really?
called Tomodachi Collection in Japan,
Yeah.
which makes more sense.
Oh.
So it's a collection of your friends.
Yeah.
Click here to see
Yeah.
sprites from Tomodachi Collection.
But it is. There's just an indescribable like humor in seeing, oh, Maya Fey is dating Captain Falcon. Like that's hilarious. And they break up and do weird. They have really weird fucking David Lynch dreams where where they like there's like 4 of them on a skewer being dipped in blue paint. Like what is happening?
That's like the most David Lynch thing I've ever heard in my life.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what their dreams are like, and it's funny. It's I don't know. It's impossible to describe. If it sounds fun to you, you probably will like it. So you should check it out.
All right.
Unfortunately, like since like there's like only so many things, like also only so many dreams or like situations and stuff like that, you'll run into the same shit
You
a
will.
lot.
Yeah.
You'll be playing the same mini game a lot. Like you'll be playing the football mini game over and over again and stuff like that.
The catch the thing
Yeah, or
mini game.
catch-
Bullshit.
Catch a
That's the
diamond
thing. That's my favorite game.
Yeah.
Mine too. What'd you catch?
or
You know, the
flip
thing.
over, flip over cards mini game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of the same if you like put too much time into it.
Yeah, it's really like where Animal Crossing is a game that's meant to be played 15 minutes a day, but there's a lot to do if you want to play it for longer than that. Tomodachi Life really is like play it for 15 minutes a day. Like otherwise
At
you're
most.
gonna get tired of it faster if you play it for longer than that.
You know what you don't get tired of?
Shovel Knight?
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight was goddamn amazing.
Shovel Knight is another game
Hell
that
yeah.
kicks major ass.
Yeah.
See, Shovel Knight, the whole time that it was coming out, I was like, okay, I've seen people try to do fucking retro games before, and they always hype it up as, oh, it's a retro game, it's a retro, and it's never as good as a retro game. Shovel Knight lived up to the hype, and it's the first game for me that has lived up to the hype.
I totally agree. Like they Yacht Club Games knows what they're doing. They set out to make a badass balls out, NES game.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. And they only cheated it like the limitations of the NES in places where,
The palette.
the game I'm saying like the game would have been worse if they didn't cheat it
Yeah.
in a certain way. Like they
Right.
absolutely knew what they were doing, and it's
Mhm.
so much fun. Like
It is, and the music is great, and the character design is really good, and it plays like just
a dream.
it's fantastic. It's so I can't say enough good about Shovel Knight.
It really did take me back to like being a kid playing a new NES or Super Nintendo game,
Yeah, totally.
Like, and like, as someone who loves the hell out of Mega Man 9 and 10,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like they did that as successfully as Shovel Knight did.
Here's the thing about Shovel Knight. Like, yes, they were setting out to make like an NES game, but what they really said they were doing was like making an NES game like as if an NES game coming out today, like
Modern hardware.
with modernizations to it,
Yeah, I mean it's widescreen. It does a lot that you couldn't do on the NES, but
Right.
it's for the better that way.
It's the natural progression of an NES game.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted, like.
Well, that's what they did. So.
If we were still playing NES games, to this day, I mean we are, but like if we were
New
still
NES
making NES games
Yeah.
to this day, how would they be like?
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Shovel Knight for me is probably my game of the year. Like
Really?
everything about it, I just feel like is perfect.
And there's more to come. They're
there
doing
is more to
DLC and stuff for it.
Well, yeah, it was
I-
kickstarted, so they like there's a lot of like money that they got
Yeah.
for.
I can't wait
stretch
for
goals
it.
and
I'm
stuff.
super excited about it.
I completely agree. Like, I don't even have like a nitpicky thing about it that I can say that like, they shouldn't have done that. Like, I think everything in it works.
The way it's supposed
Like,
to.
I don't have a bad thing to say about it. I absolutely love the, I want to call them Mega Man weapons, even though that's not really what they are.
Oh, I love them so much.
They're-
They're great.
The relics.
What's so cool about them to me is that they, like yeah, they help you on the bosses, but primarily they have these awesome like functions to help you navigate the stages.
Yeah.
You can like make platforms, or get a little extra airtime or
I love
whatever.
the one where
Like,
you like punching through like blocks.
yeah.
That's fucking
And
That's-
the boss designs are really, really great.
Yeah, all the
Especially love Big Daddy.
the boss character. Well, yeah. The boss characters they have such personality.
Yep.
Which is just wonderful. The way they move and the way their dialogue is written and the way that their stage is designed and the way their music is written, it gives them such a personality that they feel, like these great cartoon characters. And
Yeah. And if we don't get to play as Shield Knight in an upcoming game, I'm gonna be so upset.
Dude, I no spoilers or anything, but like the fucking ending in that game is one of my favorite endings in like video games. It's so
So good.
it's so simple, but it's so
It is.
effective. Like
I agree. Like, the way this game has a really great, compelling story, which is crazy. I never expected that going into
because
it.
it's like an NES game. NES games don't have stories. Like
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like a platformer that's like the bulk of the game is about how fun it is to jump on things. Like, and it's great at that. It does that amazingly. And also, they were like, we also got a really great, like, well-told story in here too. Like, it's like, whoa, dial it back. Yeah, club games.
yeah,
Like,
I said, I love.
you're just showing off at this
I
point.
love the ending. I was smiling ear to ear at that very last scene in the ending. Oh, so good,
Yes.
so good. Such a good game.
I think the last boss is as cool as the ending, if not even cooler, because, like, the plot, again, I'm not gonna try not to spoil it, but like the basic plot is like you're trying to rescue Shield Knight, and at first, when you start playing, you're like, well, all right, I get it, it's typical like damsel in distress story, like, I get it, but because like Shield Knight teams up with you to take on the last boss, and you get to see like how awesome these two characters work together, and you don't just get to see it, you get to be it. You get to like work with Shield Knight as the player. That boss is amazing. Like, it was the first time in a game where I was like, God, I really want to rescue this like loved one because these two are so cool together. Like,
I think it brought up. It reminded me of Wind Waker.
yeah, like when you work with Zelda against Ganon at the end.
That's
Yeah,
my favorite
yeah.
boss battle of all time. So, if you're gonna
Right.
rip off one boss battle, might as well be that one.
It's gonna be that one.
This is your favorite game ever.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there with Yoshi's New
And the
Island.
scope of that final boss. The scope of that final boss reminded me a lot of Ghouls and Ghosts.
How it destroys the platforms that you're standing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, if you're gonna use an NES, whatever, it's a great game to rip from because that is one of the classic Nintendo games.
Yeah, but what Shovel Knight does better than Ghouls and Ghosts is that it's completely fair. Like, the game,
Oh yeah.
the game will kick your ass 5 ways to Sunday, but it's always your fault. It's never because the game's being cheap, or they don't make you do things twice.
It's such a funny game. Like, it knows exactly what it's doing, and it's got like the stupid giant fish thing that dances.
I love
and
Trout.
Yeah, and it's so funny, and it's got the Bard, which is just a knight with a big feather coming out of his helmet, and he's hilarious. And the character designs are just amazing in that game, and they're so goofy, and I love it.
They really are. I love Chester because
Can I
like
just?
Oh yeah, Chester's great.
he's like kind of ripping you off, but he's also helping you out, and he knows it, so he's kind of playing that up both angles. It's a great game.
I can't wait for the DLC.
What were you
Can
gonna
I
say,
just
Josh?
say how pretty the sprites are? Like, as a spriter, I like it.
No. Excuse me.
Yeah,
It looks really good. I appreciate all the things they did.
They really did like, the team has showed like their progress like making the game, and like originally some of the sprites like in particular
King Knight.
King Knight was like super detailed with like a lot of, it had the same number of colors but the shading was like way more intricate and like just it was a lot more pixels, and they purposefully made the decision to like let's dial it back a little bit, let's make it a little more simple, a little more streamlined and just nicer looking, and that's the mark of an artist, I think, when you're you're less is more sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I really do like the design choices that they made. In that, I believe it's a Gama Sutra article. In that Gama Sutra article, I think it's Gama Sutra. I think they were talking about how the limitations of the NES, right?
Mhm.
And how they broke that.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, mark of an artist. Like you learn the rules and then you break them.
Yeah, you know where to break them in the best ways. Yeah.
And what is it? Mole Knight has an awesome design.
I really like all the boss designs.
Plague Knight's my favorite, but I think they all have.
Plague Knight is awesome.
Plague Knight
I
is
also
awesome.
love his
Yeah.
stage. I really like when there's so many indie games coming out these days. I really like when an indie game, first of all, is really good and also gets the attention that it deserves for being really good. And Shovel Knight did. Not only did it get kickstarted really quickly, and just it's one of those Kickstarter success stories, but like critics adored it. It's being nominated for Game of the Year at so many like outlets. Like IGN's nominated it. I think there's a few other places that have nominated it. I don't know that it'll win because it is still an indie game.
It won't win, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's just like just the fact that it was nominated shows that
it deserves to be nominated. It's one of the best indie games of all time. It's probably one of the best like platformers of all time. And
it's kind of like the poster child for indie games at this point.
That's Minecraft.
Well,
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, you don't consider Minecraft indie anymore, right?
I don't even think fucking Notch considers it indie anymore. But
yeah, he doesn't.
But it is an indie game. Minecraft is still an indie game. But I think David's right that Shovel Knight is right behind it, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
well,
it's kicked my ass. It's amazing.
To watch the Nintendo Minute, it beat out Smash Bros. For 3DS. For
I think it's a better game.
Yeah.
I love Smash Bros. On 3DS even, but like, it's got a lot of problems. And Shovel Knight, I can't think of a single.
Yeah,
I don't believe in the perfect game. I don't believe that any art is flawless. But there's nothing I can point to in Shovel Knight. Like
only thing I can think of in Shovel Knight is now that I've beaten the game and I'm at the end, I collect all these jewels and I don't have anything to do with them, and that's the only complaint that I have with Shovel Knight.
Yeah, but that's nothing. That's so nothing. That's not even worth complaining about.
I know. Yeah. That's my point.
I do think it's pretty sweet. The game has a lot of replay value with like the challenges that you can do, like the achievements, and the whole like harder mode and stuff that I am too much of a chicken shit to play. But like, there's a lot there if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Even the main game, it took me like I want to say 12, 14 hours, something like that, which is like. A lot of people might say that's too short, but for a game like Shovel Knight, I think that's perfect. I love games. The reason I love the NES Mega Man games so much is because they don't waste your time. They don't. If you're good at them, you can beat them in an hour or two. But the length and the durability of them comes from them being so hard that you have to play them lots of times before you can get to the point where you can beat them in an hour or two. And Shovel Knight captures that better than I could have ever imagined. It really is an amazing game.
Yeah, like speaking of difficulty in terms of Shovel Knight, I think they do it perfectly. There's a challenge that I decided to do when I played through the first time.
Yeah,
probably wouldn't recommend it for most people who aren't masochistic like me and Gabe. Which is the break all checkpoints.
Yeah,
challenge.
Checkpoint list.
Yeah, checkpoint list, exactly. and it's pretty NES hard, man.
Yeah.
But that's only if you want it to be. You don't have to do that.
That's
Right.
Yeah, well we haven't even talked about like the checkpoint system in the first place. Like
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
I've been saying for so many years now that like I'm sick of lives in games. Like I feel like that's a relic of an older era where
Games had to be hard because
games
there was only 10 minutes of game that could fit on a cartridge.
And like Shovel Knight does away with all of that. It's got no lives. Your only punishment for dying is losing money. And you can even like reclaim that money if you get back up to where you died, without dying again.
Yeah.
Right.
They got that from the Souls games.
Yeah, which I know that is like a Dark Souls thing, but it works so well in this 2D platforming environment, and it really like gives you incentive not to die. Like you're like, shit, I gotta get my money back,
Get it with a money back guarantee.
If you're doing it checkpointless, you really don't want to go back to the beginning of the stage.
Yeah.
After countless hours of grinding it out,
Yeah.
just to get that inch further. And then you get to the boss and you get trashed by the boss.
Yeah, the bosses are tough, but fair.
Yeah, they're fair.
Yeah,
They're fair.
you
A lot
learn
of
their
times,
tricks.
when I was doing my run through Shovel Knight, like it was actually harder to play through the stage for me because of doing it checkpointless. Like whenever I'd get to the boss, I'd actually sometimes beat them the first try.
Yeah.
And but again, I think the difficulty is perfect. Like it's just hard enough, and you can make it harder for yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're rewarded for it. It's sort of that like Kid Icarus, Fiend's Cauldron type thing where like it gets harder and but you're rewarded more for it.
Yeah.
Which another game that we're gonna talk about later doesn't do too well.
Yep.
But Shovel Knight, I feel like it's pretty perfect. Very tight controls, great difficulty, great music, great aesthetics. It's
Great story.
yeah, great story. It's even got a great story on the outside. Like the indie developer making a success.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Can't wait to see more from the DLC. I'm excited for Shovel Knight.
Me too. Everybody should play it.
Hyper Camelot. Check out the Arranged album too. That's pretty good.
I didn't know there was one. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. The lady that did I think Symphony of the Night music.
Oh, really?
Made arranged version of Propeller Knight's theme, I believe. I forget, but it's really good. Propeller Knight's theme is pretty good. All of the themes are pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, by pretty good, I mean fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But like Jake Kaufman, the composer, I believe, really, really good. I listened to the soundtrack a lot. Like the soundtrack and the arranged soundtrack, I listened to both of those a lot.
Yeah.
And I hear it in my head, not even listening to the song.
Yeah,
it's great.
Really catchy.
It's Shovel Knight. Like I was saying this after I have finished beating it, Shovel Knight is the best Mega Man game in years. That's because Mega Man hasn't had a game in years, so.
Yep.
But it's also a really great Castlevania game too.
And a DuckTales game.
It's just a homage to like that NES era, you know.
Zelda 2, DuckTales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kicks ass.
It's fantastic. Love Shovel Knight. Game of the year for me. Perfect. You don't believe it's perfect? I don't give a shit. I'm calling it perfect.
You're wrong. Like I said, there's nothing in it that I can complain about. Like it for all intents and purposes, it is the perfect game. But I don't know. I don't believe in, nothing's perfect.
Except me.
But Shovel Knight is.
Yeah, Unfortunately, you can't do anything with your money after you're done.
Yeah, okay.
Like me.
I'm just messing with you,
Let's,
David. It's not even-
Let's move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of want to stop the recording before it gets too gigantic.
Yeah.
All right.